nice. There's nobody here.
First review was a long-ass fucking time ago. And that was Far Cry 2. Boy, was it a piece of shit. But a lot's happened since then. Yeah, no more malaria, bitches. Far Cry New Dawn. I don't know, man. Is it really a Far Cry if you can take, like, a bus there? Well, I guess you can't take a bus now, because, spoiler alert, bitches, it's a apocalypse. Real purty apocalypse. Yeah, that's right. The last game ended in a big boom. I didn't see that one coming. I don't know, when the world's gonna end, usually I get a trailer first or something. So this is where Ubisoft gets to have fun. And that's what this is. This is just a big old pile of comfort food. Jaggin'. I think we all know, like, the story of Far Cry. There's the original, which most of you never played on PC. The second came out like a bajillion years later. Jaggin'. And then with number 3, they hit their groove. And they've been iterating ever since. And that's good, because you know what? Ubisoft has a lot of franchises that I didn't used to like, that have iterated themselves to the point where they kind of don't suck anymore, believe it or not. And you know, if you had fun with the last one, or 2 or 3 or whatever, then you'll have fun here. Arguably more fun, because this is what Ubisoft does when they don't have requirements. When you got a mainstay title, you need a X-size story with X amount of NPCs we're supposed to but don't care about, with long blah blah blah, which is why I prefer the smaller Far Cry like follow-up side games. Without all that corporate pressure and weight, the developers can just, you know, try stuff. And I love that when developers can just try shit. That's why I've kind of always loved tacked on multiplayer better than like official multiplayer. Because when it's tacked on, you could just try whatever. And some of my favorite multiplayers that were just weird and different were different because they were tacked on. It's okay. Jade. In fact, Ubisoft, with Far Cry in particular, they've done a lot of wish fulfillment, for me personally, almost, it seems. I remember after Far Cry 4, which was effectively a nice big tech demo for my new PS4, after a few years I thought, you know, I would love some kind of like open world, first person, like caveman, Paleolithic game that was, you know, in a really solid engine, you know, like the Dunia engine from Far Cry. And literally, like, a week later, a trailer for Primal showed up saying it drops in less than 3 months. And Primal is, like, my favorite Far Cry ever. And as soon as they were done with that, I was like, oh my god. You know, well, hey, I wish they'd make, like, you know, a zombie apocalypse in the Far Cry engine. And you know what? I didn't get a zombie apocalypse, but I also got zombies in a level editor that is effectively almost the same thing. And in addition to that, I got the Apocalypse game. So, like, it would have been nice if you could have just put the zombies in the Apocalypse. But you know what? You put it in a level editor, and, you know, golden rule number 1. And putting zombies in a level editor of this quality in Far Cry 5 was just, mwah. I mean, not to nitpick, it would have been nice if I could have had real zombies, not this weird neon spitty lava shit. But moving on to the Apocalypse, what do we got here? Well, it's pretty. It's nice to see an apocalypse that isn't just different shades of brown. Don't get me wrong, you know, a desolate, bleak apocalypse can be nice too. In fact, I would rather someone did one or the other instead of trying to, you know, mix the two weirdly, which Rage 2 might be doing. I don't know. What are you doing there, Rage? Keeping games like Metro over here and New Dawn over here gives us really nice different apocalypse. Jade. Speaking of pretty, I don't know if you noticed yet, but the flicker is gone. Yes, if you've played, at least on console, any Far Cry going back to at least 4, you would notice the grass and trees and really anything on the ground kind of flickering whenever you started and stopped. I don't know. I don't know what Ubisoft did to the Dunia engine or to their temporal aliasing solution, but the flicker is gone. That was the only real visual blemish, and it's gone. Baby, you're gorgeous. Jaggin'. They've also improved some other basic quality of life shit. You might remember in the last Far Cry, you could not fucking pick anything up without throwing your gun on the ground. Fuck you, gun, I don't need you anymore, bitch. And then you'd have to scramble after it. And while they have fixed it so you're not constantly throwing your weapon away, picking up other weapons by accident, they have overcompensated. And now the act of picking up a weapon is near impossible half the time. And in the first hours of the game, when half the shit you'll want to use is shit you find off dead bodies while you're getting shot at, yeah, it's a problem. But fortunately, after a couple of hours, you'll have shit stronger than the enemy, so, you won't care about their weapons anyway. Other issues, like, you know, wildlife being a little, aggressive, there's, you know, it's not as bad as 5 or 4. 4. I have Vietnam flashbacks to those fucking eagles. It's not as bad, but it still begs the question how anyone ever survived to adulthood. Yeah, you know what, we're not really here for the hard realism. I'm not going to nitpick about the lack of ecological collapse. We're just going to look at the pretty flowers.
Just look at the flowers.
Chicken. The only problem is, I can't see the fucking flowers at night because they don't give me a flashlight. And this is really, oh, jeez. The lack of a manual flashlight. Sure, when you're in dark areas, there's an automatic one. But a lot of the time, you're outside at night and you can't change the time of day. And not having a flashlight is a big fucking pain. It's like not even an oversight at this point, because it's been several games like this. Flashlight, bitches. It also doesn't help that what you can and can't jump over or climb over, still a little unclear. Still a little, you know, touch and go bounding boxiness going on. But, you know, open world, so, And I appreciate that they haven't just kind of honed what they've been doing from, like, Far Cry 3 on, but they started to drop some of the shit that was getting to be a bit much. I don't have to kill an elephant to make a bag, you pieces of shit. In 1903, one of Thomas Edison's first movies was of killing an elephant, and it has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. No more dead elephants. Chicken. There's expeditions, those are kind of fun. There's 7 of them with like 3 difficulty modes. And on the hardest mode, they randomize shit so you can do it again and again and again for loot. Which is good, because they give you that kind of microtransaction-y incentive. Ugh, microtransactions in a single-player game, but... Okay, so if at this point you're asking me about, like, the story and characters, then I don't know, maybe you've never played a Far Cry game before. These are probably my favorite antagonists, my favorite bad guys in any Far Cry. And it is because all of the other ones would not shut the fuck up.
He starts monologuing.
He starts like this prepared speech.
I mean, most of the other Far Cry's like, I'm like waiting for this game to happen. Meanwhile, motherfuckers just talking. And I mean, let's just be honest here. Who's writing this? Is it Amy Hennig? No? Then don't try and be Amy Hennig.
But is this not fun anymore? Have I failed to entertain you?
Which is why I like the side games for Far Cry so much more, because without the pressure to make a full game, as far as the story and NPC goes, they kind of just get on with it. And that makes these my favorite antagonists. Because they're like, hi, we're the bad guys, nice to meet you. We'll be fighting you and see you next story mission. Alright. If you want a mission, if you want to find out about something, it takes a second and you move on. Nothing ever gets all that dragged out. It's like it knows it's a game, and that you just want to run around and have fun. Chicken. You know, as expected from a Far Cry game, all of the systems, you know, emergent, as they say, don't always work in tandem perfectly. One thing in particular is that this game really wants all the NPCs in it dead. Because it keeps trying to get me to kill them. Hey, let me ask you something. When one side wears red, and they're the ones you're supposed to shoot, and the other side wears blue, and they're the ones you're not supposed to shoot, then why are some people on your blue side sometimes wearing red shirts? Thanks, game. Real classy. How fucking stupid are they? Look. I grew up as a kid. I was a teenager in the 90s. We just knew where not to wear a red or blue shirt, because those were blood and crypt colors. It was part of growing up. We just knew you don't wear that shirt in certain places, because back then, you know, parts of the Bronx were practically Far Cry New Dawn. It's just how it was. And we survived. So, what's up with these idiots? I guess it sounds like we're leaving out the game part, but like, yeah, story missions, scavenging missions, side missions, go find stuff, outposts, boom, there. I mean, did you even need me to say it? Jig, you knew before even you clicked play if you wanted to play this. It's Far Cry. And there's no elephants. Rachel Ray Award. Because it's comfort food, you know. You know what it is, you know what you're getting. Maybe too much salt or cheese. But, you know, tastes like chicken.